Hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. But you can call me Pajama Grandma, and yes, I'm in my pajamas. Got my magnifying glass, and we are ready to do some live webinar funnel building. This is probably the third part or step 3 of building a live webinar funnel. I'm trying to break it down into kind of bite-sized pieces so that if you've only got, 45 minutes to an hour to work on building out your live webinar funnel, say you've got a job and you're doing your webinar as a side hustle or as a side business. I did that for 25 years. I worked in corporate America and I had a business or businesses on the side. It wasn't until 2004 that I finally took the deep dive, meaning I got laid off from my job. And I decided that it was time to focus on my side businesses and stop messing around with working both in corporate America and on my businesses. So that was an interesting trip, not to be talked about today because it's too long a story to go into everything today. But I've had some really fun and eclectic experiences in different industries that make me love funnel building in my pajamas even more. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. I'd like to get through the confirmation page today and the replay page. We'll see if we can. I'd ideally like to pop into and start doing some of the preliminary pieces for the indoctrination series. I've got 3 pages in the indoctrination series for the funnel, but I am not sure we'll get to it today. Let's go ahead and share my screen, pop into ClickFunnels. I've got my account up. I'm going to hide this. And then we'll go back into the first page and edit that a little bit and see where I left off. I can't remember where I left off. As I go from day to day, this is actually how I build my funnels. I'll work on it for a while, then I'll get sick of it, or I'll have something else to do that's a higher priority, or I'll have a coaching call, and I'll pop off and I'll do that for a while, and then I'll come back to it. Sometimes it just helps to come back with fresh eyes. If I run into a technical difficulty, or if I'm struggling to do something, or if I don't like the colors, or if something just doesn't feel right, then I'll go away from it for a little while and I'll come back. And it just seems like fresh eyes and a fresh perspective make everything with respect to funnel building go so much faster and so much easier. And it makes it a lot more fun too. If you sit down and you stress yourself out over the details of trying to figure things out, it just isn't that fun to do. But if you just look at it as kind of a treasure hunt, which is a lot of what funnel building is, you can have a lot of fun with it. And I'm all about making things fun. So let's just take a peek at this page. Again, I'm not loving the free web class training reveals how to supersize your business fast without working yourself to death. It's fine for right now and for demonstration purposes, but it might have to change. I also want to do something with this picture so that it matches the size of that one, just for a better look and feel of the page. As far as purple and red go, I'm not loving the purple and red, but again, I'm not going to sit and worry about that for right now. Let's build out the whole funnel, and then we can always test it and go back and see what actually converts and what actually works better to get people on this webinar. So I want to move on to, I think, the confirmation page. Let's go ahead and check our settings. I did do the integration yesterday. Remember how we did that? And I did do, I believe, the SEO metadata. Let's take a peek at that and make sure we've got that changed. And I thought I saw something funny in this, but I might have imagined it. It might have been on another funnel. I've been helping a couple people with other funnels today. But that at least is set up in the preliminary fashion to get us moving. The other things that I might be going to do is put in a tracking code. I save that till the very end to add my tracking codes for either Facebook or Google Ads or whatever you happen to be wanting to use. I also will save any custom CSS. If I decide I want to do any custom CSS, I will admit right now, I am not a programmer. I am an industrial engineer and a food manufacturer for most of my career. So the internet stuff is new to me. So I am a ClickFunnels whiz at this point because I've worked really hard to learn it. But as far as custom coding and things go, if Jamie Smith and Funnel U doesn't have a code for it, and I can't look it up on I think it's 3 schools website and just easily figure out how to do it, I'm probably going to have someone else help me with custom coding just because I know my limitations. Typography, if you want to change remember I showed you how to change the background picture. And typography is if you want to change the font family for the entire funnel, you can do that right here. You just would type here and then you would go in here and you can change your font family so that you're not having to change it on every single page and in every element on every page. You can change it from the beginning of the funnel right here. I honestly don't usually mess with that. It's only if I want a much bolder or a different font family for a particular funnel I'm working on. This one, I don't really have a font family or anything picked out for a look and feel. Should I have? Maybe. Is it super important? No. I want to see if the baby's going to get people's attention and if any women business owners actually want to sign up for and find out about how to supersize their business. That might not even be anything that they can relate to. So I've done my research. I think it is. And I think they don't want to work themselves to death. And most women business owners are working like crazy, and they're working way harder and way more than is humanly possible. And they're on their road to burnout. At least I know that's what happened to me. And just about every other woman business owner I know has ended up with like massive health challenges and things just because we work so hard. We try to be super women. We try to do it all. And guess what? We don't have to be. We can automate it, and we can build teams, and we can put systems in place to do all these things for us. We just don't know a lot of time when we're running our small businesses by ourselves, mostly, that we can do those things. So part of the purpose of actually this webinar that I'm creating is to show women that they can do that and they don't have to do it all. So let's go ahead, save this, because I'm all about saving often. And we're going to go back to our outline, and let's go ahead and go on the confirmation page. Now, normally I will on each page of my funnel go through each of these tabs. We did the settings tab already, but I'll go through the overview, which is what we were just on. Then the automations. Do I need any automations on this page? Do I want to? It's not really an order page, but these indoctrination videos are all set up in here. They were on the share funnel and the template. So if you don't have Actionetics and you don't want to hook this up to a different autoresponder, you can go ahead and you can actually write out and edit these emails in here and have them delivered for the entire webinar. I'm not going to go through those right now to show you how we edit those, but I will do it before we're done with the demo. And then again, the publishing tab. This is where if we wanted to change our path and our funnel step name, we could do that. I'm not going to change it for this funnel, but if you want to, you can go ahead and put a new funnel step name in here. And if you want to change your path, you can. A quick tip, I may change the beginning of this, like webinar registration, if I change my funnel step name, but I'm never going to mess. And this is just me. I could be wrong. And if I am, somebody go ahead and tell me in the comments. I never mess with these characters that are automatically generated by ClickFunnels. I just leave them in there with the name, because I'm scared I'm going to break something. Let's be honest. I just learned how to use this tool 1.5 years ago. And if anybody can break something, I can break something. So I have a few things that I probably more superstitiously than anything else do when I'm building funnels. And that's one of them. I leave those characters in the path name to make sure that I've always got a totally unique path name to my page. That's why I do it. Again, that I think we've been through all the tabs in. Now, I'm not sure if I went through all the tabs on the registration page, but we'll go back and check those as part of my final run through and testing and checking my funnel once I'm done building it, because I want to make sure that it actually works before I have people, coming to it, and especially before I run any paid ads to it. So now we've got our confirmation page. Let's pop in there. Again, we hit edit page, sneak a drink of coffee. You probably think I've had lots already. I have had a couple cups today. Now, the first thing I want to do is make sure that I match my look and feel of this page with my previous page. I'm going to go ahead, and since I hid this section originally, I'm going to hide this again on this page. I'm keeping it in there just so if I want to use this someday, or if you want to use your logo on the top of the page, you can go ahead and do that. I am going to add my same background picture here. So I go to settings, background, that I have on my first page, just so everybody knows that they're in the right place. You don't have to do that. I just like to, because I want people to know, and I want it to have a consistent look and feel throughout. And I don't know if it's just my slow connection or if that didn't work for some reason. This might have a whole white background selected for that section. No, I can see it's back there. See underneath here? You can see it's back there, but obviously this is how the template was built. It was built so that each section, instead of the overall page, each section has its own background. So let's go ahead and we'll add it to the background of this section. Because like I said, I want to have it be, and it looks kind of weird. So I don't know if I'll keep it there or not. We'll play with it a little bit and decide. Let's change this to, I think we used red on the front, but I don't know that I want it to be red. I don't know if I want the black and white theme. What do y'all think? I guess it looks fine red. It could be red. It could be purple. So this is where I'm going to put my big domino statement again. So I'm actually going to go to my worksheet. That's not it. That's what happens when you have 7 worksheets open. There we go. I think this is the one I'm using. This is the one I filled out. So I'm going to copy my headline. A lot of times I don't have this worksheet handy. So what I will actually do is I'll just copy it from the previous page and then I'll paste it into the funnel. You guys might not have been able to see what I just did. I'm not sure because I might have clicked on it from below, but I think that you can. Where am I? What am I? What's my name? So I'm going to paste that here and then delete all the big domino statement. I like quotation marks, so I'm going to put those in. And I think what I'm going to do is change, I don't know, white's kind of boring. I have this red on the other one though, so I'm thinking this should be the red, just like the previous page. I hope that's the right red I'm using. I don't know. I think it is. And then I'm going to change this to white because I don't really love it in red anyway. It's predominant, but let's see what it looks like in that purple once. Yeah, I'm not loving that. Let's go white. That's fine. I'd like to get something purple on this page just for consistency. Now here, we've got 3 different options of things you can do. This is your thank you page or your confirmation page. And I'm going to hide a couple of these, but we're going to just pick one. I'm going to tell you, please just pick one. A confused mind says no. So you want to pick the one thing that's most appropriate for your offer and for what you want people to do and use that here. Don't use all 3. I know people that have used all 3 and people get to their confirmation page. They're totally confused and they don't even bother signing up for and moving on to and watching the webinar because they're like, if just the thank you page is this complicated, then what is the material that the person's going to train me be like? They just assume it's going to be way too complicated. So I'm going to say pick one. Now we're not going to pick the set up your free ClickFunnels account because that's not appropriate for this offer and for what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and unfortunately, I think this one is in the section with this. So it's a little harder to hide. See if we can hide it because I would like to hide this whole thing. Although normally I just hide these 2 sections down below and I then transfer and do what I'm going to do in this section, which I think is what I'm going to still do here. But you might want to later on in another webinar offer the ClickFunnels free trial with your affiliate link, of course, as your call to action. So I'm thinking about this. Sorry. Sometimes I have to think about things as I'm doing them. Let's go ahead and hide. If this is your first webinar, I'm going to highly recommend that you use this. What's your biggest question about XYZ, your topic section? And you'd move it to step 1, or you would, not call it step 1 or step 2 or whatever. I would move this to this area and make it a continuation of your ask campaign. So as people are registering, you're continuing to get input and things that you can build into your actual webinar presentation that answer their objections and speak to their limiting beliefs right off the bat so that you make sure that everything that they come up with is already included or included at the end of your webinar as part of your question and answer period. Otherwise, the what are you most excited about one is always a good one. I actually like to sometimes put a 1-question survey or a couple question survey here, and I'll just create it in a Google form and I'll add a survey question here. But let's go ahead and let's hide these 2 sections, and we will use the format that's built into the actual page here just to make it easier. So again, now we know how to hide sections. We just hit the little settings button And then this little thing that looks like an eye, it looks like an eye to me that says hide. And we hide that section. Now we're going to want to get rid of this little piece. And I think we can delete it. And it says we can. So I'm hoping that I didn't screw up my template by doing that. But I think it's just an extra section that's in there, probably with, you know, you can see the little stripe of the background there. I might make that background that purple. Actually, it depends. If I'm going to change my footer, and I don't think I changed my footer from black. I think I left it black in the front. Let's go ahead and add our logo here. So I'm going to go to the icon. We're going to use that same crazy looking pajama grandma lady, even though, again, that's probably not a great logo. But since we don't have a logo, I don't have a logo for this particular product. And I don't feel strongly about it for demonstrating this. Until I get a logo, I'm just going to use the pajama grandma lady. And I use the ugly cartoon because it gets attention. My son thinks it looks like an old man, which, you know, yeah, kind of does. But I liked the cat in it, so I'm sticking to saying that I like it. And I think I used the one without the name last time, so this time we'll use it with the name, the square one. I kind of like the square one better, so I think I might replace that on the previous page as well. Remember to change your company name and your privacy bars and things. And what I'm normally I would save this whole section as I would save this row or this section as a footer section and then just paste it on each page. So you know what? Now that I said that, we're going to go back and do that. So I'm going to save this. We're going to go back to the previous page and I'm going to show you how I save my footers so that I don't have to type them in every time. And the reason I didn't do it yet is because I have not done my links. And so that means I'm going to have to go in and change my links on every page. And I'm kind of lazy that way. I don't want to do that. So I usually wait until I've done my footer section and I've updated all my links before I make this a... Okay, so do we like this lady by herself or do we like it to say pajama grandma? I think it should say pajama grandma. So let's go ahead and change this to the one I just had. And then I'll save this. Sometimes I don't wait long enough for everything to load and then it messes up and I have to go back and fix it. That is the problem of having too many documents in here. Okay, you can load this week. I can see it. I just don't see the whole thing, so I don't want to click on it till I see the whole thing. Pretty sure that was the one. Nope, there it is. It's not the right one. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to save this. And I called it Supersize Your Business LLC, which is the name of the company. I just couldn't remember if I did that. So now we're going to actually save. You see the little save symbol? This is pretty good. I'm not using my magnifying glass today. We're going to save it as a template, and I'm going to call this Supersize. Oh. I'm just going to call it Supersize Footer section. And I can just call it Supersize Footer because I know what it is. I'm going to save it as a personal template. Now, when I go to my next pages, I can just call that up and replace that whole section. Oh, sometimes I don't let it save long enough. And when I do that, I save it again because I'm paranoid that I'm going to lose something. So I just save it again. Then we're going to wait till it's done and then back out and we'll go back to our confirmation page. So there we go, confirmation page. And there's a trick on the confirmation page I haven't shown you yet with respect to setting our timer. We have to use the old editor. Let's do that right now. Well, let's do the footer first. So we're staying a little consistent. We'll do the footer first. I use the new editor for everything except setting the timer. And then when I'm building membership pages in Actionetics and things in Actionetics, you have to use the old editor for. Now, I can just take this section. I can actually add, and I like to add new sections. So I'm going to just add a new section. And I'm going to say my sections. And I have to find what I called it. I think I just call it Supersize Footers right on the top. And voila, I've got my new section in there. Now that I've got my new section in there, I can just go ahead and delete this one. Now, isn't that a lot faster and easier than having to type all this in and do these links? Yes, 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 it is. It's way easier. And I'm an industrial engineer. It's all about efficiency, effectiveness, fast and easy. That's the way I roll. So that's how I do my footers now, and I'll use that for every page. And again, I will probably just go in and resave it as a template when I put my links in, because then it's quicker and easier to save. Let's go up, and I'm going to actually, as background, I'm going to use that purple color. So I'm going to go to settings, background, and I don't know that there's a purple one in there. Let's just do color, because then I can for sure get my color. I'm going to click that purple, and we'll see what that looks like. It's only going to have a couple little areas that it shows up in. All right, I'm going to change this button to my purple color. Now I'm getting my purple built in there, so I'm happy about that. It's more consistency. So there's my purple. I'm going to keep this language. What I like about having a template is I can keep a lot of the same things in place. Now, this button is going to have to be setting the action on the button. I'm going to go to a website. This is going to go to, and it's going to be linked to my whatever service I'm using for my webinar delivery. This is the link that they give me that I will put here. Again, I don't know what I'm going to use yet. I might do Zoom. I'm going to play with some Zoom stuff tonight. I think I might use Zoom. And if I do, I'll show you how I get that link and where I put that link in here. And I'm not using Webinar Jam anymore. Webinar Jam is where all mine were set up before, but I couldn't get them to work. I don't have the bandwidth or the speed where I live in a remote, small town in Wisconsin. We just don't have it. I live out in the country. And we've tried every possible internet service provider. Right now we have fiber optics cable, which is amazing for us, but I still can't run a whole lot of different programs simultaneously. Just doesn't work. So I do what I can do. That means I do a lot of Facebook Lives like I'm doing here. And you know what? That even glitches out and dies on me sometimes. But since nobody's home running anything else on my internet right now, I'm actually making it work. So let's go ahead and let's close down all these tabs on the bottom. You know, I'll need to see what I did for things today. Now, the bad thing I see is right here, that is not purple. I would have expected this to be purple. So anyway, that's how we'll set our action on our button. Yes, I'm easily sidetracked. Now I want to change the color of this and the phrase, the wording in this. And since I took out the other steps, I can go ahead and take out these steps. What do I want these people to do? I don't want them to get a free trial of ClickFunnels, although that would be awesome. I want them to, I'm going to have them get their specific questions answered. Let's say just get your questions, if I could spell questions. No, I can't. Q. What's going on here? Q. I swear I'm hitting the Q. All right, I already know I don't like that. First thing we're going to do is change the font color. Let's go. I know I'm not going to like white because this is way too white a background. I might have to go with the red. I don't like red either. I definitely don't like purple. Red is going to win. I think I'm going to have to put a box around that and have it white out. I also don't like what my background's doing, and I just noticed it, that it's repeating. Hate that. Hate that on this page. So I'm going to change that. If I do this, let's go with the red arrow. And I'm actually just going to delete this arrow because I don't love it. So I guess I did decide I was going to delete it even before I did. I don't think that arrow is doing anything for this. And I honestly think there's one here too that we're going to delete because they don't really help it stand out. If I could change it out and put a red one in, but I got enough issues with the way this looks as it is. But the first thing I'm going to do So I'm going to go back up to settings and the background, and I'm going to change. I must have hit the wrong button here. I don't think I did this right. Isn't that interestingly annoying? I don't like the way that looks at all. I'm not quite sure. I think I did it in the section, right? Section, background. Oh, it's on repeat. All right, let's go full center. That's what I want. Much better. Background, I think it's a little too hard to see. Yeah, it's gray text. So let's go. We want them to see that. That's, you know, something we want them to see. And I think that the white is okay there. Again, I'm still not liking this red on that. I don't think purple's going to be any better. No, it's terrible. Let's try black. Yeah, black won't work either. So we're going to stick with the red for right now. Again, I think I'm going to have to put a box behind that just so that we can see it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's, I think I just want it on the element though. I don't want it on everything. So let's go background color. Oh, what do I want to do? What if I want to, let's try a purple. Oh, that was horrible, but let's try a purple fade just to be a little different. Oh, that was too much. I don't know. I don't love it. I'm not a design person, obviously. We'll just leave it there for right now. It probably should be white. But I think white might be really stark too. So anyway, that's fine for right now. But we're going to ask them, what is your biggest question? So then we have to change our button, of course. Because we don't want to create a free account. So we go in here and we type in, cool, ask your question now. I don't know. And I'd probably like a little icon for that. Been playing with icons. I think they're kind of fun. Be under advanced. And I want an icon before. Now I was working on building a funnel with somebody the other day, and what we found is once you add the icon, we couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. So I'm going to say, be very careful when you pick your icon, because you're going to have to pick one. So if you decide after the fact you don't like it, for some reason, we could not get it to go away. Now with icons, I actually need my magnifying glass because these little buggers are so small, I cannot see them at all. I kind of would like a woman. So let's type in woman, since I'm targeting women, and see if it brings me up a little lady. That would be awesome. I don't think it does. I think it's FA woman or something. I would like a grandma. I don't remember the name of it, obviously. Oh, we're going to have to look. But we want something that will get their attention and make them want to look at this and ask questions. We could do like a little question input form thing. That's pretty boring. It'd be more fun to have something a little bit different. I know check marks and check things to draw attention to it are pretty popular. You can use what works for you and what you like. And what you, actually, I like to think of it, what would my target audience like? What would my avatar really like or be attracted to? Again, these design features and ideas, they're what take me the absolute longest. Just want a little person. There, let's use her. Oh, I think that's a tree. I was saying, let's use her, but it's actually a tree. Oh, that's funny, right? That's why I have people proofread my stuff, because you never know. All right, let's just go with, oh, I don't want to use a thumbs up sign. That's the weirdest looking female type thing I've ever seen. I don't like it. Umbrella, no. We don't want to use any social media icons. All right, let's just use this little woman sign. That'll offend somebody for sure. Somebody will get mad and be all offended that I use that. All right, so let's go save. Now, the next thing we want to do is we need to set this timer of when the webinar starts. And we're going to put a video in here. It's going to be a short video. I haven't made the video yet, but all we do to put a video in here is I'm going to shoot it on my phone, and I'm going to build massive curiosity for this. I'm going to do and say, hey, I'll tell them a teeny bit about my story and my background and why I want them to be on here. But it's going to be like 30 seconds, 1 minute max. It's all about getting them to show up on the webinar. This and our indoctrination videos, they're all short, clear, concise, and designed to get people to show up to the webinar. If we tell them the answer, if we tell them what we're going to show them and teach them on the webinar, they will not come. If they even think they can guess what it's all about, they will not come. It's why I like Supersize Your Business, because, okay, I can maybe guess that it's about business growth and how do I grow my business, but what the heck does that mean? Does it mean automation? Does it mean outsourcing? Does it mean systems and processes and procedures? What the heck does that mean? If I were to say, you know, learn how to automate your business, which, by the way, that's not what this is about, without working yourself to death, then people wouldn't show up. They won't show up for the webinar. So I want to maintain curiosity in my video, but I'm going to shoot this little video. I'm going to upload it to YouTube because that's how I do it. And then I'm going to put the link here for that particular YouTube video. That is as easy or as difficult as it has to be. If I want, I can add a different frame or a style around this by just going to themes. I can pick a different look and feel. And maybe I want something, you know, with a white border since it's kind of a boring looking. I could use the red since I'm using red. I don't love red. I would perhaps, it's not my same red. So when I don't have the same color hue, it makes me crazy. I used to be in printing, so I have really bad vision, but I can pick up slight color differences like that, and I don't like them. So we're not going to be red. Let's go. I kind of want white. No, not that one. I like how it closes every time I look at one. The black might look kind of nice. I thought this, this one I think is white. I can't see the white border. How bad is that? So the white looks kind of nice. It just frames it up a little bit. But we need to set this countdown timer. So let's save our work, and I will show you how we do that. We save our work. We go back to the main menu. Now this time we have to go into the old editor. So down below the yellow or tan or whatever color button that is, it says Edit Page in Classic Editor. You need to click on that. And what that's going to do, this brings up the original editor for ClickFunnels. And this is where we have to edit this countdown timer. It's the only way to do it the way this particular one's laid out. So you click on the timer, and then here where it says end date, you can select your date on the calendar. And I think I already did this for selecting July 6th, Thursday. That's fine. We'll leave that as the date. Oh, I need the time. Hello. And 3 p.m., I think I made this 7 p.m., but I could be wrong. I might have made it 3 p.m. I don't know. 7 p.m. And I'm going to make it Central Standard Time because that's where I live. And it's all about me, right? Not. It's all about my customers. Now, when this goes off, I need to change this redirect URL and send it to, and you can see I still have, this one's got GoToWebinar in it, the link from GoToWebinar. I need to put either Zoom or Webinar Jam or GoToWebinar, whatever my redirect link is, my URL link where my webinar is going to play live. That's the link that goes in this field. And so you need to change that out before anyone will be able to watch your webinar. We're not going to do that right now because I have not set that up. Normally, I would go into Webinar Jam and I would build and schedule this webinar out there first before I started to build my webinar. And I actually created, you know, recurring webinars for the same time every week. I think the most I've done is like 15 or 20 at a time. And so then all I need to do is come into my funnel and update my timers. I don't have to update that link. Once I set that up for the link, it was set up for like 20 or so many weeks. And I didn't have to go back and mess with it, which is actually what I recommend if you're using a third-party provider for this. But that's how you change the timer. You got to come in through the old editor, you change the timer, and then you have to remember, once you change it, to say save. See that save button? And then when the little old disk guy comes up, then you hit exit. You can edit everything in that editor just like you do in the new editor, but most of us are working with the new editor, so I don't demonstrate how to use the old editor anymore because most people don't have a clue that it even exists unless they're doing something like setting this timer. So our confirmation page, let's pop in there and look at the new editor again. And again, I'm going to go through all my tabs and make sure I've done everything. So I'm going to look at my settings. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the look and feel. I'm not loving it, but you know what? It's okay. And okay done is better than absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to say for right now, this is fine. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to go in here and change this background. I thought I already changed it to purple, but for some reason it's not showing through, and I did change it. So I guess, I don't know what's going on. That might be a different purple. That would be very disturbing to me, but I'm going to save this. The look and feel is fine for this for right now. It's just the confirmation page. We've got our, oh, we have to link this to our question. Where are we going to let them input the question? And we have a couple options here. We have a lot of options, but a couple that I like to use the most often are, we could have it go to a pop-up, or we can have it go to a URL. What I almost always do, because it's quick and easy, is I set up a Google form with the question on it, or maybe a couple questions, because I can do that. And I link this to the URL of the Google form. So when they click the button, it automatically goes to the Google form and completes that. So I don't have to do anything else with integrations and things on my funnel. And I can use that over and over again for different things. I don't have to go in and change things all the time. So I'm going to hook this up to one of my Google funnels, and I'm going to have to go find. So I'm going to set my action, and I'm going to set it to a URL. And so I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to go just to my Google Forms, and I'm going to probably just pull up one of my existing forms. Oh, helps if you type it where it belongs. This is where I do surveys too. I'm a Google fan. Some people aren't, but I'm actually a Google fan. You can see because I have lots of forms in here. So let's see if I've got a form for, I know I don't have one for this specific topic. Let's use, what I like is I don't know what even some of them are. Oh, that's for my training. I don't want to use anything with that. Here we go. Here's one. This one we'll use. It's the customer catcher #1 question. And we'll actually edit this. We're going to change the color palette. We're going to change it to like purple, I think, instead of red. I get sick of red. Then we're going to, oh, I forgot to copy this. I don't want to wreck this one. What color was this? Blue, wasn't it? All right, we're going to leave this one alone. I'm breaking my own rules. All right, this is one we want to use. I don't want to rename it. I just want to make a copy of it. Okay. Make a copy. There we go. I don't want to wreck that one because that one I'm already using for something else. So I'm going to call this Supersize #1 question. I'm going to save it to my drive. I don't want to share it with the same people. I could have. Now I'm going to change the color. I'm going to use purple. I like purple. I didn't used to like purple, but oh, I don't like that one. It's my granddaughter's favorite color, so now I like purple. Was it really that purple when I picked it a minute ago? That's better. All right, so then we're going to put supersize your business. #1 question. I like exclamation points. Want to make sure you get your questions answered on this exciting webinar. Well, heck yeah, I do. Yeah, put in your email address so I can get back to you in case we don't answer it on the webinar. I want to be able to give it back to you. So what's your biggest questions or challenge with supersizing your business? And they might say, I don't even know what supersize your business means, right? They can say whatever they want. And this is just set up for them to fill in a paragraph. And we're going to, this automatically saves, which is another thing I love about Google, right? Because I'm one of those people that loses everything and I don't like that. Now, when I'm done with this, I could add a couple more questions if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I just want them to say and tell me what their biggest question is. Remember, I want to keep it simple, but I want to continue to get engagement. So I am going to go to send, and I am going to go to this little link. I'm going to shorten this URL because it still lets me, because it's in Google. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to close this one. I'm going to leave it open for a minute. I'm going to go back to my registration page, and I'm going to paste that link right in here, that shortened link. And I'm going to save my file. And then I'm going to preview this in an incognito window. So I'm going to go open link in an incognito window because I want to test this link and make sure it works before I get all excited about it. Well, there's my background purple, so that's kind of cool. Uh-oh, webinar not available. Because I haven't set the webinar up yet. What did I do wrong? This is real life. Sometimes I screw stuff up. So did I click the webinar? Ask your question. Go to Google Form. Let's open that in a new, we'll open it in a new window. Save. Nothing worse than something not working and failing on live video, right? Apparently, I don't get too embarrassed. I talked to myself and watched myself watch an entire webinar for 28 minutes yesterday. That was pretty funny. Webinar not available. The webinar and its recording were removed. Please contact the organizer. I know there's no webinar there because this isn't to a webinar link. It is to asking a question on your confirmation page. All right, well, apparently I can't test that right now, but that's how you do it. Maybe it's because I don't have this set up to a webinar yet, but that doesn't make sense. I'm not sure why it's not working. But that is what I would do. I would preview it and test it. I'll preview the whole thing when I'm done. So I'm not super worried about that because I'm pretty sure I set it up right. I've done dozens of those. So that's really all there is to our confirmation page. Pretty simple, right? Let's check the time. I think I've been talking for a long time, but we're going to go ahead and try to just knock out the confirmation or the replay page quickly so that I feel like I've accomplished something in this second video. I don't want it to take a whole 30 to 45 minutes for every page. Again, we're going to hit edit page. You don't have to wait for it to load, at least not on my computer, to edit the page because it would take forever. So I'm going to put my domino statement here again. Again, I would have gotten that from the previous page, but since I didn't remember to do that, I'm just going to go to my worksheet and copy the headline again. That is my big domino statement. I'll paste it right here. And I'm going to delete the extra. I'm going to add the quotation marks because I don't know. Somebody probably tested that once. It wasn't me and said, hey, put quotation marks on your headlines. People like those. And I like the way it formats it better. So I'm all for that. Now, we want to not touch certain things on this page, like this blinking webinar program is in progress. We want to leave that baby alone. We're just going to leave that and let that go. The replay is coming offline. Now, we need to set this for when the replay is going to be done. So I believe it looks like I already did this on the 10th of July at 12 a.m. So you set the timer for this the same way we did the previous ones, except for the one on the confirmation page, which we do in the old editor. But I want this to be Central Time. I didn't change the Central Time, so I'm glad we came back. And then it's going to redirect. We're going to redirect this to where we want them to go. I almost always send them to the order page. So I'm going to go get the link to my order page. And that's someone boxing me, sorry. I'm going to get the link to my order page, and I'm going to put that in here. So let's save this and go get that. Now, that order page isn't set up yet, but I can still go get the link. So I'm going to go down a couple pages to my order page. I'm going to copy this link right here because that's the link to my order page. So I'm going to go Control-C, and I'm going to paste that in my webinar replay page because that's where, when the webinar expires, That's where I'm going to send them, because I want them to be able to order it even if they didn't watch the replay, right? But they're going to be on this page to watch the replay, but that link will still be there in case they come here and the replay is over, they still get redirected to my replay page. Remember to back out that pound sign or your link won't work. So that's my redirect to my order page link. I'm going to save that. Again, I'm going to change the colors of this. I'm probably going to make this that purple just because I don't really like the black. And I don't have black on the top of any of my other pages. Remember, I hid the logo pages. So I'm going to make that my usual purple here. And I'm going to leave this replay and everything the same. This looks like it's already got a white frame on it. So I'm going to leave that because it's the same as my previous one. I'm going to change this to a purple button. And I would probably say something besides click to sign up, because I think that's kind of boring call to action. Just saying. I think that I might be using a different purple. I think this is actually my purple. Yeah, that's different. We got to go back and change that. I don't know how I ended up with two purples in here. But again, I can't stand different colors. So I have to pick the same purple here. I actually like that color purple, but we're going to go with the consistent one. So then let's pop down here. Again, we're going to set our link is going to be the link to our YouTube video or wherever we put a replay video. This is where we're going to put the link, is where it says, and wherever you're going to get it from. Maybe it's from your webinar software provider. Maybe it's from Vimeo, Wistia, wherever you put it. I do mine in YouTube, so it's YouTube. And then I just put the URL here for the YouTube replay video. Again, we got our purple. We're going to set this button. Now, in today's presentation, this is where we put our secrets again and our Domino statement again, because we want them to show up for the webinar. And then I put graphics and pictures in here. Now, I'm going to stop here and not do this because we know this will take me longer than just a few minutes. So I'll pick up here tomorrow, but I'll make sure I have my secrets. And again, remember, again, they're right in our worksheet. So I can just pull up my worksheet and scroll down and get them and copy and paste them from here. But I edited them a little, so I want to get the edited version so it doesn't take quite as long to do that. But this is how I do it. This is how I build these pages one at a time, piece by piece. Now, again, let's just do this quick because I can just copy my footer right here. And so I'm just going to add a section. Let's do it the easiest way possible. I'm going to add a section. I'm going to go to my sections. I'm going to go to supersize footer because that's what I named it. It's going to be added there. And then I'm just going to delete this section because I don't need this one now, right? Now, what's interesting here is the only thing they have on this page is the copyright statement, because I think the theory is we only want people to watch the replay. And these are all the headlines that are to drive them to the replay with the secrets. And then we want to link this to our order page. So click to sign up, and then we're going to change the words on that. And again, then this button is going to be to go to the URL. And of course, I don't know what the URL is because I went off it, but I'm going to go save. I'm going to go up here and find it because I just put it in here, right? So I'm going to go to the redirect URL. This is it. I'm going to copy that again because it's close and easy and I can. And I'm going to set it to this button. And again, I want to remember and make sure that there is no pound sign in front of this or I will have trouble making it work. So that's all I'm going to demonstrate today. We'll pick this up tomorrow because I don't want it to go too long. If it goes too long, it's really hard to keep up with it and you guys will get sick and tired of listening to me. That's all there is to it. So we've gotten through our registration page, our confirmation page, and we're working on our webinar replay. I hope you're having an awesome day. We will pop back to be live and I'll see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions. So I'm going to sign off and answer my Voxer and see what somebody needs help with. Have a fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow with the next step in building our live webinar funnel. Bye.